जय हिंद, जय भारत एंड वेलकम टू डेफ टॉक्स. दिस इज आदि अचिंत. आइए समझें जियोपॉलिटिक्स को एक भारतीय नजरिए से.
So India has a mindset where it hits, it punches below its weight. We have to punch not above our weight. We have to punch not below our weight. We have to increase our weight and punch the post.
ये हमारा सिद्धांत है. हम घर में घुस के मारेंगे.
You know, victims of terrorism do not sit together with perpetrators of terrorism to discuss terrorism.
नमस्कार, जय हिंद, जय भारत एंड वेलकम टू डेफ टॉक्स. हमारे साथ हैं स्ट्रेट फ्रॉम कनाडा द मैसेंजर ऑफ जस्टिंदर सिंह ट्रूडो, जिनसे हम पूछेंगे क्यों किया ऐसा, क्यों किया. नमस्कार.
जयराम जी की
क्यों किया भाई आपने ऐसा? डोज नहीं मिला था जस्टिंदर को, क्या हुआ?
देख भाई, उसके बीवी ने छोड़ दिया उसको, उसके बच्चों ने छोड़ दिया उसको, ठीक है. उसका पार्टी भी अभी उसके खिलाफ कू कर रहा है. बेचारा बहुत मेंटल स्ट्रेस में है, ठीक है ना. अब पता नहीं उसका, हाँ, उसका शायद वो मेलनी जोली के साथ चक्कर चला रहा है, किसको क्या पता है ना. She looks like the kind of bimbo who will fall for a himbo, and he looks like a himbo who will fall for a bimbo. So, you know, it's like
प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में हंस रही थी कल तो वो.
two dimbos in a pod. God, I mean, what the hell? I mean, she is a really ditzy little bimbo, right? Let's be very clear about it. All she ever does is talk with her hands like this. And I want to say this again. This is very important for Canada to get to the root of the Indian murders in Canada. बस ये करते रहती है बस. Look, you know, I was talking to some Liberal Party members, and they were like, you know, within the first 2-3 years of Trudeau 1, he had replaced all the competent ministers and replaced them with his cronies. You know, this was the classic Maoist pattern of get rid of anybody who can rival you and get in these really stupid people whose, career depends on you. It became progressively worse, to the point now where he's basically isolated himself into a sort of echo chamber that only tells him what he wants to tell you. Remember in September when this whole shit started, September last year, 2023, the problem there was that he had the Manitoba elections coming up the next month. Here, there are 4 elections coming up in the next month. New Brunswick, British Columbia, which is the big one, Saskatchewan, and one more. I forget which one. And, you know, I don't think he's going to win them. I think he's going to get wiped out everywhere. The problem is he thinks he's going to win it by doing all this shit. Second is that he's got the leadership coup. So he wants to be seen to be strong right now because his pitch is going to be, if you get rid of me now, you're not going to get any leadership on this. And it's not going to be, the relation can't be shepherded properly. Third is the fact that he's looking at a very serious internal inquiry into Chinese internal interference next
tomorrow.
Tomorrow. And it was going to be 90% about China, maybe 10% about India. By making it 90% about India, he can show himself to be strong and capable and fighting back so that, you know, the China component of it is reduced. It's that simple.
But, you know, one thing that fails to kind of, I can't understand one little thing. That, you know, he can't do this without the approval and the nod of the Americans. वो नहीं कर सकता.
No, boss, he's actually, everything that I'm hearing from America is that the Americans are bloody pissed off with what he's been doing.
I'm also hearing. But
now, the thing is, he had apparently done a once-over with the Americans saying, bro, this is the dossier. Let's check. Now, remember, the only link between the Panoon case and this one is CC1 or whoever it was saying कि हमने ये निज्जर का करवाया. Okay. And you know how in India it is, it's boasting. It's like everybody will come and tell you, पता है मोदी ना actually 180 लेता, उसने मेरे को कॉल किया और मैंने उसको बताया भाई तू 180 पे आ रहा है, इसको कर दे उसको कर दे, इसीलिए 250 आया, ना तो 250 भी नहीं आता। साले सब पान वाले ऐसे बोलते हैं भैंचो।
नहीं, but
Okay,
I mean,
so no. So listen. So the CC1 was clearly boasting. Okay. You remember, I don't know if our viewers are old enough to remember that whole thing in uh, the Tehelka case when it happened with the Vajpayee government.
yeah.
And there was this guy who was going on boasting, Ranjan Bhattacharya did this deal. I fucked him over so badly in the deal. And, I spoke to Yashwant Sinha. Yashwant Sinha came out and said, Bhai, tu kaun hai? I don't even know who the hell you are. And then he had to apologize and say, look, we have to do this boasting to get some traction and this and that. Okay. So this kind of boasting happens. Now, that is the only link between the Pannu case and this case, number one. Number two, the Pannu case, the Americans are getting full cooperation. They're very happy with the cooperation they're getting. Okay. There's one guy in jail who's been dismissed from government service and all of that. And it is what it is. So they are not willing to hyphenate their case with Trudeau's case anymore. He has gone, he has sent his intel chief to get the American stamp of approval. The Americans have told him, bro, you don't have it. This is all.
We told him last time also, don't do this.
Yeah, which is why, remember last time within 24 hours, they put out some kind of a statement saying, well, we shared intel with them. This time, they're not even putting out their statement, not one squeak from them. He called up the British, even the British haven't issued any statement.
Only the New Zealanders came out and said something.
That was last time. This
time.
Yeah,
we are concerned. If it's true, we are concerned. We would like things to get sorted out. That's it.
Who said this?
One sec. I have the statement with me. Wait. I have the statement with me. I mean, why don't you continue? I'll dig it up. I just did a presentation today in the evening, so I have that with me.
So it's just one of those things that, it's he doesn't have it. He's deliberately exacerbating it in order to save himself.
Yeah, but what does he get out of it?
Well, maybe a few more weeks and maybe a few more months.
Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
New Zealand has been briefed by Canada about the recent announcement on violence threats against South Asian community. Alleged criminal conduct outlined publicly by Canadian law enforcement, if proven, to be very concerning. Remember, if proven. At the same time, we do not comment on the details of ongoing criminal investigations in New Zealand or abroad, other than to note that it is important the rule of law and judicial process be respected. New Zealand has a diverse population with large communities and cultural connections, Asia Pacific, to act and be treated lawfully and with respect. Great. It says if proven. It says if proven, which means they are not even taking this seriously.
Yep. ठीक है, statement देना ना मैं दे देता हूँ. यार एक form statement निकालो लगा दो, बस खत्म. That's
and he refused. They used to mention India last time. They clearly mentioned. पता है? वो जब expulsion शब्द हुआ था.
So this is the, but what kind of amazes me is that Bimbo came out and said we will sanction India. Don't they realize they've got $30-40 billion of theirs in India?
भाई तुम sanction करोगे the $56 billion in pension funds that are invested in India. हम उसका क्या करेंगे? चुम्मा देंगे क्या?
Brand बजा देंगे उनकी.
I think for the 4 lakh odd students was the number I heard. Is it 4 lakh students? It'll be more than enough compensation for their entire fees and everything, and they can seek very good education somewhere else. So, no problem at all. I think we should freeze. I think for starters, we should freeze any dividends on those investments. That they be treated as.
I want to understand one little thing. Anybody, when he plays a game like this, he will say, "Yaar, pehle hang on. Who is this benefiting?" Right? When you play a game like this is benefiting Modi out and out and out and out and out. That's why I said, "Ghar mein ghus ke marenge." People want that.
So you benefit. Here's the thing. He's benefiting by extending his rule by a few weeks at best, if at all. But there is no downside for him. Understand, he's entirely Chinese funded. or funded by Klaus Schwab and George Soros.
Soros and
Okay.
Soros.
So tell me, what is the downside for him personally? It's zero. Literally
That's
zero.
agreed.
है ना? तो बस और क्या?
खेल दो गेम.
Hmm?
अभी तो मोदी से डांट खा के आया था. He got a bloody bashing from Modi in Lao.
That wasn't even a prolonged meeting.
No, but Modi told him, lay off. This is not the place. Stay away from me.
मीटिंग ही नहीं होना चाहिए था, in my opinion. But anyway.
नहीं. Modi साहब was going somewhere. This guy was coming. तो वो hello, just shake hands on regular diplomatic courtesy. He just grabbed Modi sahab's hand and took him on the side. We want to talk about this. He said, just get out.
Really?
Yeah. And Modi told him, listen, this is not the place. We will not discuss this. And please understand, we have nothing to do with you. And he walked away.
Lovely. तो इन चूतियों को अभी पता होने वाला है कि कनाडा isn't where it was in 1980 and India certainly isn't where it was in 1980. Good. Let them.
क्यों मंगे ले रहे हो? I mean, see how embarrassing for the Americans today. The Americans are trying to pull back a little bit, not fully. थोड़ा सा they're pulling back because they know
थोड़ा.
यार अगर ज्यादा कर दिया तो ये सारे इंटरफेयर करना शुरू हो गए. If they start
Exactly.
in elections, we'll have a problem. So just
Exactly, right? Huh.
Yeah.
But
How embarrassing.
Now see, the problem is that he's created a situation where if see, he's done the same thing to Pierre Poilievre that Obama did to Trump. After Trump had won the election, Obama expelled these Russian diplomats, right? And it was something that Trump simply could not undo. Why? Because anything to undo, it would be
step down.
The Russia dossier and the Russia collusion scam and the Russia election scam. So see, this is where this fellow is trying to take it, that he'll permanently poison the relationship and hobble Pierre Poilievre. He's leaving a poisoned chalice for him, precisely so that a Pierre will not be able to do much. And if he tries to do much, he will lose the Sikh vote, at least the Khalistani side of the Sikh vote. And the incentives for Pierre to not do that now have become immense.
Makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, it's simple logic. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Tell me this, this whole thing, again, Khalistan, right? Our opposition party kept saying that we will let the protesting farmers into Delhi. Again, that same stupid narrative. This seems like a frustrated approach by these guys to kind of light up a fire that didn't light up because of Haryana.
Correct. But there's something more serious to it. My real worry now isn't Haryana, it is
He got stuck. Okay. Anyways, you got stuck.
Okay. So my
Your
real
real
worry
worry
is
is not
Kashmir.
Haryana, but it is
Kashmir.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Abdullah has financial powers. Now, see, counterinsurgency has two things: force and finance. Force is in the center's hands. Finance is in Abdullah's hands.
But under the LG,
he's going to.
He's number 7 in the list, by the way.
Iffy. He can still do a lot in terms of bhadkao fighting.
Yeah.
And the problem then is he will do the bhadkao fighting. Whatever little money he can manage, he will pay these fuckers. And then it becomes the central government's responsibility to de-escalate and solve the problem.
Yeah.
You understand? All financial powers need to be taken away from the state of Kashmir, the union.
I'm saying put the president's rule back the first time he screws around. Simple.
I think so too. I think so too. But देखते क्या होता है भाई.
But yeah, this whole protest baji which is started up again with that Ladakhi. And there are now photographs of that Ladakhi which has come out with Yunus in the Dhaka, in Dhaka, in the British embassy, doing Jappi Papi and all that nonsense. that all is there. Now, what do you say about this monkey which is starting to rile up? Why? Because in Ladakh there is a huge protest right now where the Buddhists are protesting against the Muslims because the Muslims are not letting them build a monastery there. A huge, massive protest. He's not bothered about that.
He's not. He's not. And understand, look, Sonam Wangchuk, I don't think is, he's trying to get into this whole NGO funding circuit. This is a sort of calling card. ठीक है, देखो मैं भी ये सब कर सकता हूं, please include me in the ecosystem. Right. Now, remember, there were all these NGOs. Once upon a time where being gay was illegal. There were all these human rights NGOs that started up to decriminalize homosexuality.
Yeah.
And get equal rights. Now, all the Western countries enacted laws decriminalizing homosexuality and slowly giving them equal rights right up to marriage. Now, did the NGOs shut down? No. Because it had become an industry, they need money. So they found the next this thing. So, communists, they live in this state of perpetual revolution. ये कायम कर लिया, अब अगले चीज के लिए revolution कर. So this is one of those things with Sonam Wangchuk. He's seen that this perpetual revolution thing, which gets you a lot of money. And he wants to get on board with all of this. Now, understand, if, okay, Sonam has certain priorities. Fantastic. They're clearly not the priorities of the other people, right?
Nope.
This is like Irom Sharmila. I supported Irom Sharmila for one very simple reason, because she wasn't doing disruptive protests.
Yeah.
Okay. She was doing it to herself, which I think she has every right to, and I will always respect her for it. Okay. Yeah. She will always be a hero to me. I disagree with her, but I respect her. Because she didn't do all this NGO bazi. She didn't go around trying to block stuff and do dharna, jharna, blah, blah, bullshit. Okay. How many votes did she get when she stood for election?
Some 50, if I'm not
50,
mistaken.
Some 100 odd votes.
Yeah.
So Sonam needs to understand that just because you're somebody famous and some idiot has made some 3 idiot movie about you, doesn't mean that you somehow get to overrule the voice of the majority. Okay, if people agree in your agenda, they would have voted for a candidate who believes in your agenda. They haven't. तो भाई तू कर क्या रहा है?
ऐसे तो यार मेरा 3 लाख फॉलोअर है, मतलब मेरे को 3 लाख वोट मिल जाएगा हाँ इलेक्शन में.
भाई देख, तेरा 3 लाख फॉलोअर है, मेरा 2.5 लाख फॉलोअर है ट्विटर पे, ठीक है. अगर मैं इलेक्शन के लिए खड़ा हुआ, मेरा 15 वोट आना मुश्किल है, पता है.
5
I think I can manage. My 2 dogs will vote for me.
I'm saying me 5. 2 पेरेंट्स और बाकी 2 किसी का कानवान में रोड के आ जाएगा.
मेरी मम्मी मेरे लिए वोट नहीं करेगी. हाँ, मेरी मम्मी वोट फॉर मी. तो मेरे 2 कुत्ते मेरे लिए वोट करेंगे. मेरे घर में जो 2 लोग काम करते हैं वो वोट करेंगे. मैं ड्राइवर विल वोट फॉर मी. दैट्स इट.
चलो, you got balloons at least for the votes.
है ना? So these are the 5 votes. I'm guaranteed. Maybe और 10 और लोग, मेरा पान वाला, मेरा सुट्टा वाला, मेरा चाय वाला, मेरा सब्जी वाला, मेरा those people they're like, अरे ये भैया बहुत स्वीट है, हम इसको पैसा देते हैं. मेरा पोस्टमैन को लिखा, हाँ ये हमारे को अच्छा टिप देता है दिवाली पे या दुर्गा पूजा पे, तो इसको दे देते हैं. ओके, 15 वोट मिलना मुश्किल है बॉस. Even my most ardent retweeters will be like, भाई तू बहुत स्वीट है, तू बहुत अच्छा बोलता है, पर वोट हम तेरे लिए नहीं दे रहे भाई. So what the hell, bro? Protest is the expression of electoral failure. When you fail at electoral politics, when you fail to get a popular mandate, you come out on the streets to create a nuisance for everybody else. That everybody says, भाई ये क्या बवासीर हो गया है, इसको निकालने के लिए कम से कम इसको पूजा करो तो निकल जाएगा बेचारा, बवासीर गाड़ से उतर जाएगा.
By the way, you didn't vote for
so
yourself.
Basically, I 6 votes, ठीक है. Well, I won't vote for myself, I tell you that honestly. But a protest is essentially बवासीर रिडंस ऑप्शन गिवन टू द पीपल, या तो बवासीर झेलो या तो बवासीर निकालने के लिए कुछ करो. A protest is an anthropomorphic hemorrhoid.
Dude, paint a better picture, man.
Okay, let me find a better picture. Let me find.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I get that. I get that. But the point is that this is basically like a disease, if I may say.
Yes,
You know,
it is.
it's a disease, and I don't mind protesting. Go to the place, Ramlila Maidan. You do what the hell you want to. Call
Yeah.
for interviews. Do what you want to.
Yeah.
Trust me. I mean, I'll interview you. Get your opinion. That's not a problem. But when you start saying shit like, oh, Kashmir में plebiscite होना चाहिए, यार तू क्या बात कर रहा है?
Hmm.
I mean, here is a guy who's talking about Kashmir, whose entire state or the entire region has been very looted by the Kashmiris.
Exactly.
ये मेरे को I don't understand this. But how do you see the politics right now, the political situation? मोदी जी कैसे क्या कर रहे हैं? What's happening? What is the change that you figure out after Haryana?
I've not seen change on the ground yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've not seen change on the ground yet. I'm hoping there will be change, but the real change they're saying will only come after the Maharashtra election.
थोड़ी घंटी बजानी तो शुरू कर दी है. The NGOs hit and this and that and all that stuff. You were very enthused and you wrote about it also.
कौन सा?
The NGOs. You wrote about the NGOs.
हाँ, क्या लिखा मैंने, कब लिखा?
You wrote a tweet. I don't know when you wrote it, but you wrote a tweet that NGO, this is a good step.
क्या good step?
यार जो अभी NGOs पे अटैक हो रहा है भाई, Oxfam and all that nonsense.
क्या हो रहा है?
You don't know? Seriously?
Yeah, बताओ. I mean, my head has lots of things running in it. I forget. बताओ.
Oh, the FCRA license have been cancelled.
वो तो कब का cancel हो गया है?
No. There's a huge investigation, 141-page report from the income tax also.
Oh, these 5 ones, na CPR and this and that. हाँ, right. हाँ. तो उसका क्या है कि let it get cancelled. What's the big deal? But this was cancelled before the Haryana elections, not after.
No, after. Right after. During just before the results.
Because I know CPR, the action had started last year itself, bro.
Yeah. 23.
So their FCRA was cancelled last year. It wasn't this year.
Oxfam was, you know what these monkeys were doing?
This may be the tabling of the report into the investigation that's about to begin.
Yeah.
The prosecution.
Ridiculous when I read that.
Oxfam सबका पहले ही cancel हो गया था. Okay. This is the tabling of the report, the investigation report, and how they'll proceed with prosecution.
Jaishankar Saab in Pakistan, what's your views?
He's going to be very tough out there. He's not going to engage in any bullshit. He's not going to engage in any bilateral whatever. He's not going to give them the validation that they seek. Have you seen a photo of him shaking hands with anyone or smiling at any Pakistani?
Shahbaz Sharif के साथ shake hand है. There's no smile.
No smile. It will be a very proper, formal.
वो receive के time पे diplomatic handshake वो होता है.
हाँ बस और क्या. वो तो करना ही पड़ता है ना, तो वो तमीज है. है ना? बस और कुछ नहीं होगा बस. That's all they're going to get out of it. They're going to get a handshake and nothing more. They're not getting any bilateral meetings. So there's basically zero validation that's going to happen for them. And they're desperate for validation right now. Which is why, you see all these unhinged bloody articles that are coming up. Saying that, yes, it's time that Pakistan took into consideration India's concerns. But India should also take into this thing, Pakistan. We don't give a shit about your concerns. Okay, bhaad mein gaya tu aur bhaad mein gaya tera concerns.
Pakistan? Which Pakistan? I don't see your country there.
Yeah, I don't. It's
Pashtuns declared independence, man, almost.
I don't know who tweeted that out. It was such a hilarious tweet. A room with attached bathroom India with Pakistan.
Yeah. I know. I saw that. Yes. But the Pashtuns declared almost independence. Yeah, they've given bloody 90 days for the Pakistani army to get lost.
They उसमें कुछ नहीं होगा boss. See, we should also remember the Pakistanis can be extremely brutal at crushing things. Bangladesh would have never won its independence had it not been for India. The Pakistanis would have bloody crushed them in no time. Not crushed them as in just killed them off. Genocide. That's how they crushed the Baloch insurgency, you know.
Yeah,
Now
but right now
remember,
these guys are
Karima
the
Baloch. Karima Baloch was killed in Toronto. She was
terrible.
found drowned.
Yeah.
And the Canadian police said no
Suicide.
suicide. Sajjad Baloch was found killed outside the University of Uppsala, also drowned, and the police says ki no foul play suspected. How is it
Yeah.
that two Baloch activists die in the exact same way on two sides of the Atlantic and no suspicious methods are found?
Yeah, Pakistan. I mean,
I think this is a good thing about Pakistan. Bump off करना है तो सीखो उनसे.
नहीं सही जगह पे पैसे खिलाओ ट्रूडो अंकल को थोड़ा I think that's where we fucked up, you know. We should have given some money to Trudeau uncle, and then uncle would have said, yeah, absolutely. No, we'll give Nijar on a platter to you.
No, he is not, because remember, his first motivation is power. His second motivation is money. There is nothing we could have offered him unless you had a consolidated Hindu vote bank, which, you know, Hindus never consolidate as a vote bank, or they consolidate behind the worst kind of assholes.
Yep. Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Trudeau.
It's pronounced third O, or O the third.
All right. Tell me what's up in America.
O माने फ्रेंच में water, EAU. जैसे O de cologne होता है ना, EAU. They माने off. Third माने dirty in English. तो O the third माने
O the toilet.
हाँ, but O the third is टट्टी का पानी. टट्टी को लो पानी में घुलाओ और वो तुम्हारा बन गया जस्टिन.
I'd like to forget that. Now, what's up with America? What's your take on America? What's happening there? Third attempt on Trump.
Look, let's be clear about one thing. It doesn't matter how many attempts there are on Trump. The media is so completely one way. The number of illegal voters are so great. There is no way in hell Trump or any Republican candidate who succeeds him is ever going to win an election. Remember, every Republican candidate is going to be painted as a racist, a fascist, a anti-fact, anti-libertarian neo-Nazi, a white supremacist. Even a black person will be painted as a white supremacist. It will be like Dave Chappelle's sketch of being a black head of the KKK in his town or whatever it was. That was a hilarious sketch. I don't know if you people have watched it on Netflix, but it's a Dave Chappelle ka ye hai. Just Google Dave Chappelle KKK this and that.
Yeah,
absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
They will be labeled as such. They will be treated as such, and they will be kicked out. Okay, they will be kicked out in election after election after election, because those 20 million illegal immigrants, officially 11 million, but we all know about official statistics everywhere. They know that the only way they can continue to stay here is by voting decisively for. Now, you know, they're not going to go to California or New York, which are going to vote decisively for the Democrats. These are uniparty states. They're going to go to places like Arizona, which is kind of swingish, but now getting more this thing. They will go to Texas. They will go to Florida. They will go to, Wyoming or Colorado or places like that. As it is, people from California are migrating to all these places, but they left their original homes to get away from the Democrats, but they come here and start voting Democrat and espouse Democrat policies. So it is that migration, because California has become such a uniparty state. They want to export that 7-8 million people to other states and turn them Democrat. Because they've destroyed their own state, they'll go destroy another state. They will first change the voting regulations so that you don't require citizenship or ID in order to vote, and then they'll change the entire fucking thing. This is how it's done. This is how booth capturing, vote capturing are done. Okay, this is going to be a completely rigged election in the sense there is already rigging because of the different kinds of voting machines, voting rules, this and that. In addition to that, you're going to have at least half of those 20 million illegal immigrants vote and turn absolutely anything around. I am not expecting Donald Trump to come back as president at all. I'll be very grateful if he does, but no. And the problem with Kamala is, our safety valve, people don't realize this, our safety valve in this administration was Joe Biden. Because in spite of the fact that he was absent all the time, Biden has a very, very positive opinion of India.
Yeah.
So in the maybe 30 to 45 minutes of clarity that he had per day, he would talk about India and he would course correct the India relationship. That's not the case with Kamala. Okay, Kamala will throw her own mother under the train for power.
She's a nutcase.
She's a whack job. She's a brainless, brain-dead whack job. And the problem about being brainless is she's outsourced all her thinking to the power brokers within the Democratic National Convention, who are nasty, vicious, woke people who hate India. Of course, a lot will depend on the people selected to fill the posts after she wins, because will they also be in certain DNC silos? Most probably, yes.
Yeah, well, Victoria Nuland has been brought back into National Endowment of Democracy board.
Wow. Why is that not surprising, God? What an absolutely vile, vicious woman that thing is.
Thing? You're being nice to her.
Yeah. चुड़ैल है चुड़ैल.
एक नंबर की. अभी आते हैं जरा आप इजराइल शिजराइल जाके आए हो तो जरा बताओ यार इजराइल किसको ठोकेगा भी? ईरान के साथ क्या होने वाला है?
भाई ईरान को तो ठोकेंगे. Now I'll tell you what the initial assessment is. They've got 39 functional, maybe up to 40 functional F-35s. Okay. Plus, they've got submarines which can take up to 12. They've got 6 submarines, I think, with about 12 cruise missiles.
6, yeah.
So 6 into 12 is what? 72 missiles. And 2, because they can carry 2,000-pound JDAM bombs internally, if I say balloon again. 40 into 2 is 80. So 80 plus 72 is 152 aim points. Now 152 aim points. Now we know all of these will get through. Okay, yeah. Because the cruise missiles have signature suppression, very good signature suppression, incidentally. And the F-35s, you may be able to see them, but seeing and intercepting them are two completely different things. Because you can see them on the L band because it's X band optimized, but then all your missiles have to fundamentally function on the X band. And if you're X band optimized, wo kaise tere ko shoot karega and things like that, that becomes a huge issue. Even detecting it on an X band, because most fighters have X band radars, right? So even on that X band, tum kaise discover karoge, and by that time they would have shot you down already. Now, you have 152 aim points. Let's assume a 90% accuracy rate, which is a good amount. 90% of 152 kitna hua? Ek second mein calculation karti hai.
90% of 152.
152.
It's about 120 odd.
136. Let's bring it down to 130. How if you were a Israeli? I would apportion. Now, remember, you only get one shot at this.
Yeah.
You'll be allowed one salvo and no more, because the Saudis can say, oh, they got through. They used stealth fighters. There's nothing we could do about it. There'll be no excuse for the second time round. So what I suspect they'll do is, first, it'll be the nuclear facilities. If I was Israeli, I'd hit the nuclear facilities first. Then I would hit the oil facilities. And then I would hit the leadership facilities. And then I would hit the missile factories. Now that I think about it, I'd say nuclear first, then missile, then leadership, then oil. Oil would be the least of my targeting priorities. Now, remember, a lot of their things are deeply buried, the nuclear enrichment and storage facilities, the Iranians. Now, we saw what happened with Hassan Nasrallah. He was almost 100 feet deep. Those bombs, those bunker busters, GBU 28 and 72, they hit 100 feet deep.
80 bombs they had to hit.
80 नहीं थे यार, 9 bombs थे.
No, 80 from
No,
Israel.
9.
They had this thing, yeah, काफी जबरदस्त
9 bombs total. And the thing there is that bomb does not fit into the internal compartment of an F-35. It can only be carried externally, which means your stealth is out of the window. Now, absent that, what you can do is, if it's an underground facility, it will have maximum 3 access points on the surface. You blow those up, you've essentially entombed the facility. At that point, your life becomes a lot easier, because the only thing you realistically have to detect is people trying to access the facility. So every time earth movers and people start digging a tunnel to re-establish contact with their facilities, you just bomb them. And see, because the digging will take 7, 8, 9 days maybe to get there, or if it's done on an accelerated scale, 24 to 48 hours, you can even fire standoff cruise missiles. The Popeye standoff missile, the naval Popeye, is what, 1,200, 1,300 kilometer range. Okay, you just ingress into Syrian airspace and launch a air-launched version of that missile, bombs your up.
Yeah.
It's fairly easy. After it's been bombed, it's fairly easy to do access control out there. I think what they're salivating over is the prospect of leadership targeting. They want to get rid of Khamenei, and they want to get a whole bunch of IRGC leaders, which is much, much more crucial, because, your live intelligence, for me, that would be the least, it will be the highest risk target. I'll tell you why. Everybody will be in a different place, moving towards different things at different times. So it's such a time sensitive kind of an operation. To do that for 50, 60 leaders is a deployment of human assets nightmare. It's a deployment of air assets nightmare. It's all kinds of surveillance nightmares so that you get your targeting right. So I think they will probably concentrate on maybe 10 leadership targets. Now, the thing is, how does Iran respond to it? That will determine a lot of how Israel then responds to it. I suspect because they would feel that they can't fire another salvo at Israel. They'll go after Saudi, Emirati, Omani, Qatari oil facilities and things like that. But that would be very foolish, because the only thing stopping Israel is the lack of a land border.
Yeah.
The moment you drag the Saudis, Emiratis, Omanis, Bahrainis into it, they literally invite the Israelis and say, bro, station forces here, we're all doing a fucking invasion. Fir kya karoge? And then, even if no ground invasion, the Saudis will say, bro, bring all your F-15s, bring your F-16s, we'll station them out there and we'll launch a joint attack on.
Yeah, aram se. वैसे भी यार, he's got airfields in Gandra and all that, no, that he can use.
So, I think they're free to threaten consequences to all these countries, but I think it'll be very, very dangerous for Iran to drag more countries into the war against them. They can keep saying it. They will not do it unless they've lost their marbles and are panicking. And here's the problem. They probably are panicking, which is why they may do it. It is only when you are panicked, you're not thinking straight, that you end up doing crap like that. Like, for example, when the pager attack happened, followed by the walkie-talkie attack the next day, your natural response should have been to disperse your Redwan Force leadership and your Hezbollah cabinet. Instead, what do? They call an emergency meeting of the Ridwan Force. Like, dispersal of your leadership is the 101 response to uh, a decapitation strike.
Yeah.
They do the exact opposite. They bring the Ridwan force together, which gets decapitated.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
when they've gotten decapitated, why the hell would you bring the Hezbollah cabinet together? You do. And then you again get decapitated. So, there was clear panic in Hezbollah. And there is going to be, I suspect, we could be wrong, of course, and a panicked mind is not a rational mind.
That's true. That's true. Absolutely. Guys, let's get into your questions. There's loads of questions. Yeah, people want to ask you a lot. So let's get into questions. And of course, most importantly, my request to everybody, like the video, subscribe, and share this with your friends and families. Of course, yes, you guys can contribute towards this channel using the QR code or PayPal or super stickers or super chats. Let's get into the questions. Like, guys. There's 1,900 likes only with 6,500 people watching. That's not fair, right? So let's hit the like button really hard. Think there's a little Pakistani sitting there. Okay. Rahul Rathod, thank you. Hindu population is 2.3% and Sikhs is 2.1% in Canada. Still, why don't they have the same political influence like them? Is it the failures of Hindus like always? I think you mentioned that.
Yes, we refuse to ghettoize, which is
Yeah.
a good thing, I guess. But see, you can do tactical. You all need to vote for Trudeau or Bolivier. But learn how to vote in a herd
Yeah. That's what you need to do.
for whoever supports you.
Yeah. In India and
We
abroad.
don't. The Sikhs do. Now it's very interesting. The Hindus don't run a criminal economy in Canada. The Sikhs, on the other hand, are exactly like Italians and the Irish in New York in the 1800s and early 1900s. There was a reason that it was the Irish mafia, the Jewish mafia, and the Italian mafia in New York. Because what used to happen was country bumpkin coming from somewhere in southern Italy or in famine-stricken Ireland has nowhere to go, no job, you're Catholic, or you're a Jew, you're discriminated against. So you go to the ghetto, and in the ghetto, you will have the political opinions they want you to have. They will give you a job, they will give you accommodation, but you have to be a fanatical believer, or at least you have to pretend to be a fanatical believer.
Yeah, pretend at
Now,
least.
an average guy going from rural Punjab, from Ludhiana, who can't even speak English, and his idea of English will be he won't say you tell me, he'll say you dasoji. And what's a Canadian going to get? He's going to get a low paid employment somewhere. And it is so desperate. There are lots of Sikhs out there that we've spoken to who are, they literally camp out in high crime neighborhoods in the hope they witness a shooting or a robbery so that they become protected witnesses and get out of this sort of immigration mafia that the Gurdwaras run out there.
Can you imagine?
They go to high crime areas hoping to see a shootout or a robbery so that they get put into witness protection, which is an automatic path to citizenship. And they're no longer dependent on these guys. That's how desperate they are. Okay. Now, this is the exact sort of criminal crime dynamics ridden sociology that you saw with the Irish in New York, you saw with the Italians in New York. And this is something you will see. It was much lesser of an extent for the Jews. It was concentrated during a 20-25 year period. With the Italians and Irish, it was a lot more because they were considered not white. Because if you're Catholic, you're not really white, apparently, in their mind. And this is the same dynamic out there. We don't realize that you're literally throwing them to the wolves and getting them radicalized out there. Okay, the ones who are suave. I actually know some guys who were supporting the farm protests and shit who went off to Canada. Who, because, well, they were good looking or whatever, they could sleep around or whatever, completely de-radicalized out there. But they weren't the ones who went into the ghetto. They didn't need to go into the ghetto. On the other hand, there are perfectly normal people I know who have gone there who have completely radicalized because they have no survival skills. I was also thinking, भाई तू कैसे जाएगा उधर? तू अंग्रेजी तो मेरा कुत्ता से तेरे से बेहतर अंग्रेजी बोल लेता है. Okay, we have to understand this. So the Hindus are not, first, they're not behaving like a herd. Second, they're very stupid. They're completely atactical. मेरे को कौन करेगा? मेरे को चुपचाप से बैठ के अपना काम करना है. Typical Hindu mentality for the last 1500 years. And third, the Sardar has the exact opposite migration experience of an Indian, of a Hindu. So it is what it is, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible. Yeah, what's happening in that country is absolutely ridiculous. Siddharthji, thank you so much for becoming a member. Akshay Iyer Saab, thank you so much. Motai boss, I am from Kumarakom, Iyer from Maharashtra.
Kumbakonam.
Okay, my apologies.
Yes, very insulting.
I am Kannadiga, not Mallu, sir. Difficult,
but
sir.
I take offense. Remember, Tamil is the mother civilization that produced Kannada.
I will write apology letter to you and
Yes,
give you
please.
during JD.
Yes, please.
Shiva Satyajit, thank you. Abhijit Fogat Rathi.
Thanks, bro. See, I'm like such a handsome stud, you know. I feel jacked inside.
Don't run after Vinesh, please.
I said handsome, bro. I didn't say beautiful.
Oh. I need to sleep. Archit ji, is Israel capable of fighting on all fronts without United States?
No.
Simple answer, right? Amuluji, thank you. Bimbos are feeling insulted by our comparison. AIM.
I apologize to all bimbos. Trudeau
We both
and
will write
Melanie,
apology letters.
Yes, I will write an apology letter. I apologize to all bimbos and himbos. They did not, whatever, they're good people, they did not deserve to be compared to Oh the Turd and Jolly Folly.
Len Jolly. Melanie and Milan hai kya hai pata nahi mere ko bhai kya. All right. Shiva Satyaji, thank you. Abhijit ji, do you agree with Castro's genes are strong?
So, you know, smoking too many cigars leads to infertility. And I suspect जो अच्छे genes थे वो किसी और पे बर्बाद हो गए. There some of Castro's bastards running around who are probably much more suitable for the job. By the time he bonked Mrs. Trudeau, I think the gene pool had weakened. Which is why this boy is a bit of a retard.
I got a box of Kohibas.
Lovely.
How do I do
Which
that?
number? कौन सा Cohiba number 5?
These are number 5s.
ले आइयो तू, हम बैठ के पियेंगे जयपुर में.
All right. Stink up the room there.
I'll get Romeo and Julieta.
Yeah, okay. All right, class. Latest update. East Asian conflict has begun. Views on North Korea versus South Korea. That's dangerous, man. They blew up all the freaking bridges.
Yeah. I don't know what they're trying, bro. I don't even know what the this thing is. The trigger for this is. You know, they might just be thinking ki if shit hits the fan in Iran, maybe Russia will also take advantage of it, and North Korea will also take. पता नहीं, but मजा आएगा. देख भाई, जब तक हमारे साथ कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, मेरे को मजा आ रहा है.
No, we're gonna be sitting with popcorn. Trust me. Popcorn ka apna बैठ के. I mean, Rajesh ji says thanks Jastinder for advertising Modi's message. ये हमारा सिद्धांत है, घर में घुस के मारेंगे. This will bring huge number of votes to Modi ji. Hail Jastinder.
Yes.
TJ Saab, thank you so much. Says, how has Israel integrated its Arab Muslims? Do they serve in the IDF and Mossad? I saw it in Fauda. Or are they as anti-national as in India?
No, they're not. The Bedouin are extremely well integrated into society because the Bedouin have never had a better lifestyle. In fact, the person, I tweeted out this Yosef Haib who died, His brother was Muhammad Haib, who served as the Israeli spokesperson at the embassy. Sunni Muslim Bedouin family. A lot of Bedouin families are in very high posts uh, uh, in the Israeli military, in Israeli intelligence, and in the Israeli civil services. Much more Druze than this thing, because the Bedouins still have a much lower education rate and things. It's, it's getting, the Druze were always a well-educated, rich community. The Bedu were literally living on the fringes of society, literally, they were Gujars in that sense. The pastoralists taking their goats from one place to another. So bringing them in has been a lot tougher. That said, most of the Bedu in what you see as modern day Israel, supported Israel, are rewarded heavily by Israel, and they're completely integrated into Israel. The issue is the areas proximate to the West Bank, who were not Bedu. They were the settled Sunni Muslims of that region. They will claim they're Palestinian. But you know what the amazing thing is? 2, 3 years back, they rioted. There was a big Arab Muslim riot.
Yeah.
Again, when we say big by Israeli standards, it was about 200, 300 of them, which was still very significant. It's the biggest Arab Muslim riots ever. Israeli citizen Arab Muslim riots. We're not talking about people who do not have Israeli citizenship.
Not the Intifada.
Yeah. And what ended up happening with these guys was, when 7th October happened, maybe 2, 3 of them put up these posts supporting 7th October. The rest of them have just stayed absolutely quiet, and they've sided completely with Israel. Because they all know in the final analysis, their lives are far, far, far better off in Israel than it ever would be in Lebanon, in Syria, in Jordan, in Egypt, or anywhere else. They will not get the same civil liberties. They will not get the same powerful passport that has 120, 130 countries visa free. They will not have the access to health, education, and things like that they're going to get in Israel. So they know which side of their toast is buttered, and they're very good.
Yeah. Sarvani, thank you so much. Our Wonder Woman for the day, for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you. Ganja Lives Matter, thank you so much. You say, what does Trudeau hope to achieve by this Cold War? If he's doing it for Khotistanis, they aren't afraid of losing any chance of coming
No,
to
he's
Punjab.
not. He's doing it to look. First is what can he gain, and second is what can he lose. So he's in deep, deep trouble. So what can he gain? Maybe a few weeks, maybe a few months more in power. That's a desperate gap. What does he lose? Nothing, because he's entirely Klaus Schwab funded, Soros funded, and Chinese funded. So by taking on India, he loses nothing. In fact, he can go to his Chinese masters, Schwab and Soros, and say, "Look, bro, I took on Modi, so I'm actually deeper in your camp. Increase my pay." So for him, it's a win-win.
Dan Dave, thank you. They allow Khalistan movement to thrive in Canada because Khalistanis don't target whites. Since Khalistanis only target Indians, it's okay in their eyes.
Yeah, it's exactly the mentality of dealing with the Kanishka bombings. It was Canadian citizens who got killed, but because they were brown Canadian citizens, they don't give a shit.
Interesting. Chetan Kumarji, thank you. Hi, AIM. Last month, I asked for a detailed podcast on judicial and police reforms with Kushal on Chavraka, covering A to Z, reminding you in case you forgot.
No, we haven't. We'll be doing it, yeah.
Parthaji, thank you. Did a Chinese nuclear submarine actually sink near Wuhan? Where do both of you see RIC, Russia and China, now in 2030 or in terms of BRICS?
RIC is dead. BRICS is going to be dead. And no, I am not believing this nuclear submarine sunk story.
No, the Chinese bloggers have come out and said it, yeah. There are these Chinese military watchers who said we've
Bhai,
had
dekh, accident ho sakta hai, but if it had sunk, everybody would have known about
No,
it,
it's
gone to
not sunk,
salvage
sunk.
it.
No, it's not sunk, sunk. It basically went down. It went down. The ropes broke and it just bloody went down. So they pulled it back out and they're now repairing it. I mean, it's not like gone forever sort of a thing. It went down into the water without them realizing, with the hatch and everything open and all their motors, electronics, everything got.
Yeah, perfect.
Savani says, thank you so much. Firstly, waiting to hear both of you on JD Summit. All the best.
Very good, Sarvani. Now remember, there is the diamond ticket. but you need to call up Sanjay Dikshit ji and ask for the Super Diamond ticket, which will see a special panel hosted by Aadi pitting me against what is that boy Shah, Ankit Shah, Ankit Shah. And if you buy the Super Golconda Diamond ticket, you'll also see the naked oil wrestling match to be refereed by Aadi after drinks and dinner. By the way, premier drinks are included. You won't be black label, it'll be 16-year Lagavulin and things like that that are included in the Super Diamond ticket. And if you buy the Golconda Super Diamond ticket, you will actually get Premier Crew champagnes for the naked oil wrestling match between me and Ankit Shah after dinner and drinks.
Do you really want trolls
To be refereed by Adi Achin.
do you really want trolls to get after me, huh? Thank you.
So please call up Sanjay Dikshit ji, call up the Jaipur Dialogues number. Wait, let me bring up the Jaipur Dialogues, this thing. ये तानिया ने मेरे को भेजा था. Let me advertise it here right now because Tanya
Oh,
had
Shlote
actually
is gonna have a good
requested me.
time.
So 1 second. Let me ye karofy. And I'm going to send this to you. If you could please bring it up, Aadi. मैं WhatsApp पे भेजूं तेरे को.
Yeah, put it in the private chat, na?
हाँ, मैं तेरे को WhatsApp पे भेज दिया है क्योंकि मेरे फोन पे है, मेरे इस पे नहीं है. जरा ले आई हो.
1 second. हाँ, वो QR कोड है ना?
हाँ, वो QR कोड है, but 1 second. This should have the contact details and everything.
नहीं, QR कोड में है सब कुछ.
Contact us कहाँ पे है?
QR कोड पे है, मैं दिखा देता हूँ सबको. क्या फोटो है भैंस की. ओह,
है ना?
क्या बात है. मतलब क्या बात है. ये लो गाइस, स्कैन द QR कोड.
ये देखो भाई और बहनों, ये मेरे को मिल गया है. ये स्टार्ट, ये क्या है? प्रेजेंट. हाँ, ये जरा मैं शेयर करते हैं. दिख रहा है सबको? See, so please call this number. It's 861-931-7791 and tell them you want the Super Diamond ticket and the Golconda Super Diamond ticket to witness the naked oil wrestling match. And this, remember, it's a Super Golconda Diamond ticket for the naked wrestling match.
कहाँ से आ गया भाई बीच में?
And the Super Diamond ticket, only Super Diamond, not Golconda Diamond, if you only want to see the debate only. So between me and Ankit Shah. You can also call up Ankit Shah and you can go tweet under his handle and ask him to, it only comes by recommendation. So you have to actually call up the Jaipur Dialogues number to get the Super Diamond or the Golconda Diamond ticket. Or you can call up Ankit Shah or tweet under his thing saying hashtag naked oil wrestling, and he'll respond to you and facilitate your tickets.
So Shlote is having some fun watching us right now. So
he is shocking.
Bhatraji, thank you.
Yeah, Shloteya Dikshit is on Twitter. You can also go respond to him and put hashtag naked oil wrestling. Or under Sanjay Dikshit ji's tweets also you can put hashtag naked oil wrestling.
Dialogue says, I didn't know about this.
अरे they know about this. झूठ बोल रहे हैं. मेरे पास पूरा WhatsApp का ये है बॉस. रिसीट है मेरे WhatsApp का. श्रोतेया के साथ मेरा बात हुआ है. You know, these are like premier. We were in fact discussing which whiskey, 16-year-old whiskey should be served with the Golconda Diamond ticket.
Bhatraji says, all Sikhs that I'm in touch with, including my relatives, are with the Conservatives. As for my assessment, Khalistani support is blown out of proportion. He's in Canada, by the way.
Yes and no. See, the people who have managed to break the ghetto, they don't want to go back there. The problem is they will never voice it out. And remember, it is always the vocal majority. See, Jaipur dialogues, naked oil wrestling. Yay! See, मैंने बोला था ना.
Who is Candy
Now,
Heckler Man?
Andy Heckler, man. Yeah, that's it.
I don't know.
Acha. So what will happen is, it is these people who will, they dare not open their mouths. चुपचाप जाके conservative को vote डालेंगे. But they will not open their mouths because the radicals are such a majority, they will terrorize the upwardly mobile Sikhs into compliance. And if they look for political assistance, they will get none. Because you'll have people like Hagmeet and things like that, who will essentially sell you out. He'll call up these radicals and say, ये बंदा ना, ये मेरे पास आया था, इसके पास बहुत सारा पैसा है funding के लिए, he came to me for protection, but I'm not going to give him protection, obviously, इससे पैसा दो. So, it's a very toxic cycle out there.
Yeah, it is. It is. Right, let's move. There are lots of questions, yeah, so let's kind of rush. Ujintao, thank you so much. Read AIM, please. If arms manufacturers started using pig leather for gun grips and terrorism will reduce because terrorism has no religion.
Yes, possibly. Good idea.
Priest of Mars, thank you so much. How are these Sino-Wahhabi leftists so short-sighted? Sabotage of their own foreign relations and long-term outlook for partly gains that won't hold more than a decade. Even if that, are they truly this desperate? Yep, they are.
It's actually very smart. You know why? It's constantly keep everybody in a state of war and sell to every side. They were the only country selling to both, well, they're not the only country. America was also selling to both Iraq and Iran. Israel was actually selling to Iran during the Iran-Iraq war, believe it or not. And Khomeini approved the deal. Montazeri opposed the deal, which is why he was put under house arrest. Otherwise, Montazeri was meant to take over from Khomeini, not Khamenei. And this fellow, China, was the one selling to both. There isn't a single conflict in the past decade where these guys haven't sold to every single party they can. So they believe in zero-sum games where everybody must be in a constant state of civil war for China to prosper.
So JD says we are hereby planning to cancel the summit before things get ugly.
No. ये क्या है? See, this is fake victimhood. They're playing victims because basically what they're saying is they want you to buy Super Diamond Golconda tickets. Both Super Diamond and Golconda Diamond tickets.
Dan Dave, they are way more Hindus in Canada than Sikhs, but Hindus like Jews are
busy being model minority, work pay taxes. Yes, correct. They don't have time for all this shit.
Okay. Right. Let's go. Athia, thank you so much. You say, do you think the BJP will become as corrupt as the opposition in the future and it will lead to the birth of new parties in the future?
Boss, this is inevitable. Okay. It is completely inevitable. This is the natural course and progression of power. It will take another 15, 20 years, but then by that time, it will be just as corrupt as this thing, where the second generation of leaders take over and their sons and daughters start vying for power. Absolutely, 100%.
Chetan Kumarji, thank you. You said China border talk are going good for us.
No, they're ossified. We've reached the maximum we can get out of talks with the Chinese.
Okay, Venkatesh Saab, thank you. Why does Trudeau feel so confident about the support he garnered from Five Eyes? Are they onto something more sinister like targeting our PM, HM,
no,
physically?
He believes he will get that support. He thinks they are duty bound to support him. But when they're not seeing the evidence, they're not going to support him. They'll give some verbal support at best and nothing else.
Yeah. Aadi, poor Jaishankar का धर्म भ्रष्ट हो जाएगा in Pakistan. That's true. He'd probably eat vegetarian food. Sarthak ji, thank you. Is Trudeau's antics related to Haryana elections?
No. It's related to the 4 state elections in Canada coming up next week and the week after next.
Venkata Rama Rao ji, thank you. दोनों Zelensky t-shirt लगा के आए हैं.
Slava Ukraine.
I hate that word phrase.
I know, me too.
Dr. MPC, thank you. Is Barkha Dutt reviving her ties with the Pakistani handlers?
Bro, she's just back in Pakistan to
What's
cover the
wrong with that
summit.
woman? What's wrong with her? I don't understand.
Kyun
Dr. Saab,
yaar?
thank you so much. Dr. Jaishankar can wear Erdogan's smile at SEO.
That'll be fun.
That'll be fun. AIM just read your tweet about Air India hijack threat. Could you elaborate?
So we don't know about the one that's been given an F-15 escort, landed and isolated the Air India
Just now.
Express one in Singapore. The Air India 127 from Delhi to Chicago landed at Equality Airport, which is a remote hot and high testing airport for Boeing in Canada.
Canada.
And everybody, all the baggage has been put through scanners again, all the passengers have been put through scanners again,
Nothing came
because
out.
it was apparently a tweeted threat by some Khalistani handles. They're not telling us which handles.
Yash Bishnoi ji, thank you. I love you both. Bishnoi Samaj loves you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Very kind of you.
Bishnoi, thank you. We love the Bishnoi Samaj, both for protecting our Nilgais and deer, and we love the Bishnoi Samaj, especially for what Shri Lawrence Bishnoi is doing. Thank you.
Srinivas MSG, thank you. Pranam AIM, do most Sikhs in Canada support Jagmeet Trudeau regarding India matter? If they don't, why are they not raising concerns about worsening ties? I think we discussed this.
Again,
MPC
if they raise their voice, they'll get beaten up by Sardis who have this Khalistani Sardis who have the sort of, they can pretty much beat up anyone, bro, and they'll get away with it. That's next.
MPC Saab,
Abhijit,
thank you. Abhijit, do you see the world in 10 years without Putin, Modi, Xi, Trump, Netanyahu? Who are going to be the next generation of leaders?
no idea, bro. Impossible to
Difficult to,
predict.
very difficult to predict. Venkateshji, thank you. Jastinder Singh Bhindranwale. I love this name, by the way.
I love this. I'm stealing this, bro.
Yeah. This is amazing. Amazing name. Will not go against his Chinese paymaster. He's not doing this as a diversion, hoping this sticks with the people there. Or with or without him, it'll be a long road to recovery for this relationship.
Yeah.
Beautiful comment. MPC Saab, thank you. Do we have black sites? Who's going to tell you that? Shiva Satyaji, thank you. West today has every kind of extremist group. They've made it impossible for people to stay neutral. Has this ever happened in the past? Where will it go? It's happened in the past during the Nazis.
Well, look, it's the West has always had extremist groups. Okay, it's just that it's sometimes been over the ground and mostly it's been underground. Sometimes you get to see it. Sometimes they feel empowered enough to come over ground. That's all.
Mr. Bhatt, thank you so much. Hi, AA. Here's a list of aliases of AIMYM has abused. See you both at TJD. Respect democratic right to selfie. Absolutely. No problem, sir. Thank you. I'm honored. Srinivasji, thank you. Will Modi government blacklist ban Canadian universities? No. No need. Pankaj Sinhaji, thank you. A bit of tangent. Where are these tones in the mosque coming from? Coordinated, no long-term solution from BJP. Thinking of making my own organization. Please do let us know.
Very good idea. Yes.
Unknown gunman. Why don't you invite Ankit Shah? I think he's invited him already.
He's invited, bro. He's my best friend. We're doing naked oil wrestling at Jaipur Dialogues. Aadi Achint is the referee, and the award will personally be presented by Sanjay Dikshit ji. And Shrateya Dikshit will be rubbing the oil on all of us, on both of us.
Rajan Sharma ji, thank you. Now that Abhijit is predicting Trump's defeat, let's celebrate because अब Trump का कोई हरा नहीं सकता है. You really found a panauti for yourself, yeah? MPC Saab, thank you. Counterpoint. These bunkers have ample stores of food, water, and hundreds of air vents, shafts which can be expanded to escape shafts.
No.
Not all
They
of them.
learned that very carefully to not have that. That used to be the design once upon a time. And you remember the bunker bombing? It was a Finnish built bunker that happened in Operation Desert Storm in 1991, where they thought it was a leadership bunker, bombed it. It was all women and children and civilians who died in that bunker. Those had lots of air shafts. They have since, because they realized that those air shafts are weak points and equipment had become so precise it could come down those shafts. That has not been the design for a very long time now. What is going now is air independent propulsion ki tarah, onboard oxygen generation systems and things like that avoid the need for air shafts.
Yeah, Dan Dave,
Precisely for that reason.
thank you once again. Indian government should not stop Indians from immigrating to Canada. Khalistanis use asylum laws to stay in Canada. Khalistanis are worried Hindus will outnumber them massively, thereby
Bro,
decreasing their.
I am actually saying this. We need to start giving certificates of persecution to every person in Punjab who wants to go to SATA Canada. We should take 2 lakhs for, staging and video cameraing jail beatings. They won't get beaten, but we pretend to beat them. We'll make a video of it and send it off, and they can use it to claim persecution. Every member of parliament from Punjab should charge at least 5 lakhs for giving certificate of persecution. And we should monetize this business and send anybody who wants to go to Canada.
Bro, the going rate is 6. Why are you charging 5?
We have to undercut first. No, we push them all out of business. तब मोनोपोली जब हो जाएगा तब आराम से इंक्रीज करेंगे ड्रग डीलर्स की तरह, और क्या.
Chetan ji, thank you. Recently you said that a non-state actor is attacking military targets, not terrorism. Then were Uri and Pulwama fits in here, or did I mishear you?
क्या? Bring that up
What?
again.
Oh man, attacking military targets by non-military
Yeah,
guys.
so technically, Pulwama and Uri do not fit the proper definition of terrorism. Okay, they do fit the definition, however, of an attack on the state. It does not negate the right of self-defense. Please understand this. But it does not fulfill the category of terrorism. Pulwama probably does, but that comes under a different definition of terrorism, which is you can only target a troop during a commission of duties. When they are off duty, like being transported in a bus and when they're not armed, attacking them is technically attacking a civilian.
Yeah.
Okay, that is still a gray territory because all the definitions of terrorism have avoided off-duty soldiers. Yeah, so technically, neither of those attacks were terrorism. Pulwama, gray area.
Ashish Jain Saab, why can't we move Canadian embassy to Noida next to the giant Nala famous for dengue and malaria mosquitoes? I think that's a good
You
deal.
can't. And this is why, Vietnam never seized the American embassy. America could not seize the Cuban embassy. Cuba did not seize the American embassy. Those compounds have to be left vacant. You cannot take over. The only country that's ever done that is Iran with the American embassy compound, which is now a museum. It is completely illegal. No country has ever done it. Not Vietnam, not China, not Russia.
Even Russia, no one.
Nobody. Yeah.
Even
So,
North Korea
we
has
don't
never
have
done
it.
it. North Korea has
Yeah.
never done it.
You can order them to shut down their consulates. Consulates do not get the same protection as embassies. Remember that.
Yeah. Ganja Lives Matters. Thank you. Did 22 F-35s get destroyed in Iran attack? Not even two.
क्या लवड़ा है यार? The F-35 bunkers were way away from the attack site.
Ashish Jain ji, thank you. Is Government of India removing PIO status for Khalistanis, pro-Khalistani supporters? If not now, is the time, along with getting rid of Chandigarh consulate?
Chandigarh consulate, you need to get rid of. They're not removing PIO. You know why? They want them to come here and arrest him. वो ब्रिटेन में जो अटैक हुआ था, we arrested 3-4 of them and sentenced them to jail. ना, that is exactly what we're waiting for. they वापस आएंगे और हम जेल में डालेंगे.
Aman Singh ji, thank you. AM, how do you see the global dumbing down, especially in large populations? Why has that become so prevalent? Are democracies reaching a tipping point?
It's not a dumbing down. It is that because of social media, you see a lot of the dumbness. 97% of the population has always been dumb. This is one of the things Markandeya Karju nailed, that 98% of Indians are dumb fucks. 98% of every population are a bunch of dumb fucks. It's just that because of social media, the stupidity is on full display. Okay. And it's much more vocal. Because the more stupid you are, the more sure you are of your opinions.
Nikun Zaveri ji, thank you. Adi, look into this Greta Thunberg called Lichipriya Kanujam. I know her. She's a kid with a website, international awards, social media pages, and funding. Yeah.
Bhai,
Father
unko
runs
paisa
a social
banane
media
do.
page.
She's
Her father
a
runs a
young
social media page.
she's a young entrepreneur, so good for her.
Yeah. Anjum Reji, thank you so much. Dan Dave, once again, thank you. Jagmeet was insinuating that Hindus are spying on Sikhs in Canada and providing info to the Indian government. He wants RSS banned. What a monster. That he is.
Who gives a shit about him?
Chart Learner, thank you so much for your contribution. Mr. Barani, thank you so much. Anna, if we seize Canada's funds in Indian markets, won't countries lose faith in Indian markets? Like how the dollar lost trust?
No, it doesn't. You know why? And I'll tell you why. You are making a clear distinction. If your funds are hostage to us, there is an obligation on you to protect the lives and interests of India. If you do not protect the lives and interests of India, your money is forfeit.
Yep.
It's
That's true.
actually reinforcing deterrence.
Ashish ji, thank you. Kushal Mehra showed videos of Hindu Punjabis. Journalist's eye was broken because he was pointing out the crimes happening with the Gurdwara against Sikhs. This is when that assault happened, yes.
Hmm.
Vamsi Saab, thank you. Is India chickening out? I'm asking because no response from India with regards to statements made by Justin and Jolly and RCMP.
No,
Apparently, India
it
sees
isn't chickening out. It's in fact such complete and utter contempt. It's below our dignity to respond to these
even
people.
respond to it. Yeah. Arjun Reji, thank you. AIM Gurdwaras in Canada also fully compromise and spewing K ideology. How can Hindu temples do the same? You don't need to.
You don't want Hindu temples doing the
No,
same, bro.
please don't.
Do you want to end up becoming truck drivers and
No,
toilet cleaners?
no, 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 not at all. Turtle Soldier and Shadow Storm, thank you for becoming members. Dinesh Kumarji, thank you. And eagerly waiting your show with Pastor Samuel AIM, sir.
You from now on, I will only appear on Jaipur Dialogues YouTube channel for people who buy Super Golconda Diamond tickets to watch the Naked Oil Wrestling match, to be refereed by Adi Achint, awards to be given by Sanjay Dikshit ji, and oil to be rubbed on us by Shraddha Dikshit ji.
Upadhyay Rati Raji, thank you. Is it Anglo-Saxons, British Crown versus India once again? Sickening order of racism is clearly oozing out. Yeah, well,
Yeah, it
yeah.
is.
Cringe. Thank you so much. Can Modi still become Deng Xiaoping of India in terms of economic reforms, or will it be socialism of the previous 10 years?
No, the time was the previous 10 years. अब उसका time चला गया है.
Yeah. Pinaki ji, thank you. Deep state game should end after US elections. You agree? No.
No, they'll
No.
get worse if Kamala wins, and Kamala is winning.
Yeah. Chandresh ji, thank you so much. Shadow Storm, thank you so much. These idiots keep fanning the Khalistan. Should we ban Indian flights like we did to China in case they bomb another one of our flights like last time? Not
Bro,
just
a
ban.
lot more than that. A lot more than that you need to do. You then is when you start seizing Canadian assets.
Aadi, who's the guy behind you in the photo? That's not a guy, that's my pet. I lost him 4 5 months ago. Jain Saab, thank you. Joe Biden has created a lot of headache for Israel while Israel defends itself. I've never seen a worse president. What do you say? Everything he finds wrong with Israel, nothing wrong with the jihadis. That's true. Well,
To be fair, they've also supported, you have to understand, the Americans like their allies getting to short, sweet campaigns. 1 year is a bit much for anybody to sustain that kind of support. Let's be clear about it.
Venkatesh Saab says, thank you firstly. I fell for the Super Diamond ticket and messaged JD team. They've laughed their ass out. Don't fall for it, folks.
What rubbish? This fellow's lying. This fellow's been paid by Ankit Shah to lie because Ankit Shah knows I'm going to whoop his ass. This Venkatesh Bhatt is an agent of Ankit Shah. Bro, call up that number you saw on screen and ask for it right now.
Naman Kanpalji, thank you.
In fact, Shrateha has just messaged me and he's told me there is a Super Diamond Kohinoor ticket, which you can actually get after the Naked Oil Wrestling is finished. You can get the oil from our bodies, a little 5 ml bottle of the oil from our bodies if you buy the Kohinoor Super Diamond Golconda ticket.
Dan Dave, thank you. Sikhism is a religion. It's not a religion, it's a sect. It's a faith born in India. Few misguided people who turned on the country where their religion was born, where their holy sites are. It's like a Jews demanding destruction of Israel. It's not a
Actually
religion, sir.
it's more like Christianity out of Judaism. Christianity was Judaism. Then they did away with the food taboos and then they turned against the original religion, right? It's like that. Sikhism, Guru Granth Sahib and Guru Gobind Singh, they only talk about Hindus, about Muslims killing Hindus and how we stood up for the protection of
Yeah,
Hindus.
the word Ram
But
appears
look,
so
this is
much.
natural. This is so natural. It is every new sect of a religion ultimately becomes a completely new religion and turns against. Sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes it does. And you just have to accept that.
True. Last few, Naman Kanpalji, aren't we underestimating Iran, which survived sanctions more than 40 years, built all these networks, still has a good amount of drones in the armory? Will it impact Russian supplies and the war?
Yes, it will. It will affect Russian supplies in the war. And remember, I didn't say that Iran will collapse. I said Iran will not have the capability for effective retaliation. I think the Israeli belief that the regime will collapse is completely misguided.
Varun Groverji, thank you. Justinder is a product of Just Tinder. Thank you. That's nice. Mehul Rajopadhyayji, thank you. Aadi and AM. Why can't the Indian government weaponize visas and OCI status of Khalistani sympathizers?
Like I said, we asked and answered. We want them to come back to arrest them.
Yeah. Ariman Junjuwala thank you. AM Aadi, please recommend some books on the partition and what happened to the Pakistani Hindus. My mom tells me stories. India, Bharat, Pakistan, Jaisai Deepak.
I haven't read it.
It's
I've
decent.
yet to read a good book on partition.
Can you please mail me? I probably have something in my other laptop. I'll send something to you. Please, my mail address is there in the description. I'll figure out something and send it to you. Mr. Bharadwaj, thank you so much. Was waiting for AIM's on
Analysis, but he made it
analysis.
anal on HR elections. ठीक है, हाँ. I'm telling you, Maharashtra elections, bro, BJP is going to lose massively. Congress is going to win 495 seats.
They don't have 495 seats.
अबे तेरे को क्या पता है बे? There's a constitutional provision for 5/3 majority. That is what Congress is going to get. Yeah.
Mr. Cringe, thank you. The Chinese foreign policy is something to be admired. They don't let Westerners treat them like subhuman. They let them... What? Bro? Seriously, start reading a newspaper. Trust you, me, you're mistaken. Abhinav Sharma ji, thank you. Abhijit, you've mentioned the duality between state and defense, how these two often contrast with each other. Is the Canada-India spat an example of emanating from the state and the Malabar exercises with the US from the defense? Yep.
So Canada was not state. That was Intel, the Intel and Canada. State at that time didn't want to get involved in that. They still don't want to get involved in it. Defense has no connection to it. They're like, boss, hamara rishta barqarar. Dosti bani rahegi, to quote Modi.
Aborigine, thank you. Ask Aadi and Abhijit, there's some kind of chivalry between the West, USA and East Russia in the missile tech sharing. For example, I can give you this level of tech X, so your Y can defend from this technology.
Used to be. That's what MTCR was meant to be. It was like that for the first 10, 15 years after the Cold War. The Americans' test missile against supersonic missiles was based on the SSN-22 Sunburn. They gave the technology to the Americans. The F-35 engine technology is actually from the Yak 141. The twisting engine for the F-35B. So there was a lot of stuff that went, but it's not been the case for a long time.
INFTT ended everything, I think.
Yeah.
Beeble Bronx, thank you. Should we be worried about lefties making Lawrence Bishnoi a poster boy for Hindu terror and thereby justifying their false cries? Let them keep doing it. Don't make a damn of the... Mr. Nair, thank you so much. Will US ever endorse permanent UN security seat for India? And it's too late
they
now.
Have. Just without the veto.
No. Antony Blinken in the UN this time said full membership of the Security Council.
I thought it was without veto, but great.
No. Full membership.
But America's always supported our membership, though. It's a problem.
When it comes to voting, they won't vote, but they support it. Srinivas, thank you so much. Chetan Kumar Saab, thank you. Please remember judicial and police reform in your podcast. Anuish Saab, thank you so much. Right wing thinking about Quebec freedom. Love your Canada's what? Map. Okay. Map.
Have
you seen my map?
Don't overrate Quebec freedom.
Have you seen my map of Canada?
No. But Quebec freedom is a movement that is long since, dissipated. वो बांग्लादेश का मैप है रे.
नहीं दिखा रहा हूँ यार. वो जब भी प्रेजेंट करो तो सारा आ जाता है. Khalistan East, Khalistan West, and break everything.
Lovely, love it. Actually, Khalistan East should be Bramptonistan.
No, I wanted to make it East and West because it's Pakistan East and West. So we'll do to you what you tried to do to us.
बहुत अच्छा, but होने वाला नहीं है, but still बहुत अच्छा.
Yeah, Srilata and folks, don't get excited when the final day comes. It's the oil that is going to be
all lies. Please call up that number and ask or go to Sanjay Dikshit ji's Twitter handle, Jaipur Dialogues. In fact, they're running a competition. Shrateya is actually in my earpiece right now. He's telling me they're running a competition. The people who spam the Jaipur Dialogues handle or Sanjay Dikshit ji's Twitter handle or the Jaipur Dialogues YouTube handle with the most number of hashtag naked oil wrestling, they will get two free Golconda Kohinoor diamond tickets.
Abhinav Sharma ji, thank you so much on the India Canada spat. Should be cognizant that diplomatic responses are like test matches and emotional responses are like T20 matches. Numerous past opportunities have been derailed for India due to domestic impatience. Yes and no, actually. Every situation is different. You can't make a generalization. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Global Indian. Last two questions, guys. No more after this. Thank you so much. Why does India not promote
Yeah,
Quebec cause?
Quebec isn't a cause anymore. It's fizzled out. It's like Basque separatism. It fizzled out. These were all their heydays with the 80s and the 90s. Coming to the 2000s, they just fizzled out. They're not a thing anymore.
All right. And last one, Pinaki ji, thank you so much. You say, is RCMP riding mules from Pakistan? They could not find anything against Bishnoi, or maybe they are discussing Khalistan. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know.
look, there are two more questions here, boss. Ye
No?
Rahul Barbaraka. Can India go more ballistic against Canada diplomatically? I believe India should
How,
issue advisory
how can you see it and
to,
I can't?
I don't know. Can India go more ballistic against Canada diplomatically? I believe India should issue advisory to Thebul people traveling to or staying in Canada. Look, we're not going to initiate action. We're going to be responding to action because remember the point is we want to ensure Canada America de-hyphenation. They should make common cause on their investigations. Cooperate with America, do not cooperate with Canada, and split them apart. This is the strategy of divide and rule. So we will not initiate, we will respond. It's a
Yeah.
very smart strategy. Never forget that.
And
Okay,
tuxedo plans.
anything else that I can see and you can't? Thanks to Justin Castro for boosting Modi's image. This we've talked
We
about.
all
Yeah.
took all this. We
So
all
there's
took all this.
yeah. So I think Rahul Barbara was the only question. Thank you, Rahul, for 100 rupee contribution. Very kind of you.
It's
And
not come to me. Why?
I don't know.
Okay. Thanks, Rahul. I'm sorry it's not showing in my screen.
Huh.
Thank you so much, Abhijit Saab. Lovely talking to you. And
Thank
see you.
you. It's a very kind talking for you to host me, and I really enjoyed myself and everything. And I just want to say again, you all need to come to Jaipur Dialogues, where I will also be there. And I'm just gonna put this up on screen again, so you know which number to call. One second. Share screen. Huh. So please
At that
remember,
time,
I'll read out the number. Uh, um, it is 861-931-7791. Please call, or you can go to Sanjay Dikshitji's Twitter handle, or Shrateya Dikshitji's Twitter handle, or the Jaipur Dialogues Twitter handle, or the Jaipur Dialogues YouTube handle, and put hashtag naked oil wrestling. You can also put this under Ankit Shah's Twitter handle. And yeah, thank you.
thanks, Tony Bora. Thank you so much for that. You say Trudeau grew up in a bubble. He doesn't even know how to act in public. I think he's the most important person in the room, like a child. It's worse than that, sir.
He was a
Trust me.
spoiled child. Yeah, I agree.
Thank you, sir. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, and Namaskar.
Jai Bharat.